Okay, here's the deal, Pickle. Man, there's so much to talk about. I am absolutely convinced I will not remember it all. But I'll give it a shot. So, today's the 30th of January. Tonight, are you guys aware of the Act of 1871? That's where United States Congress allowed for the United States itself to be incorporated and to become a for-profit company. Look it up. It's the Act of 1871, February 21st. And it basically gave all power and authority to Washington, D.C. And when we are actually interacting every day with a company. So my wife and kids are getting home, so it might get noisy here. But anyway, I wanted to show you something here. I'm trying out my new gimbal here. Let's see if you can see this. But right down here in the bottom of my birth certificate, if you can see it, it says it's a banknote. And it says it is, I don't know if you saw it, but it says in the Midway Bank note. Why in the world would Midway Bank, why would my birth certificate be a note? Well, when we were sold down the river, trying to figure these controls out. When we were sold down the river in 1871 and allowed the United States to give up our sovereignty as a nation, really, and for that matter, as individuals, we became inventory to this for-profit corporation. And what happens, when I was born in 1961, they took out a bond, and this for-profit company got monies based on my projected productivity over my lifetime. And so each of us have this. Oops. This is nothing new. We all have a banknote. We're all chattel. I gotta figure this thing out. Sorry, guys. But what's interesting is that all of this kind of leads to all that's going on. There's a ton of it. And if you're not watching Crypto Mike or Autumn Rain, you guys really should. They're both great, and they're doing their homework on how much of this is true or not. But the Act of 1871 is definitely true. And the United States has been incorporated, and you've been issued. And what they did is they created the United States Inc., where the United States is all capital letters. And so you'll notice your driver's license is all capital letters. Everything in that's a legal matter will be all capital letters. That's because that is your straw man. That is your identity with this company. Well, when you go to court, and you can watch Mike and Rain, they'll both talk about it, but the laws that have been put together in this company, they've created a new constitution for this corporation, and it's not the original constitution that we have. And we are subject to this new constitution and these new acts. And you know why they're called acts? Because they're just exactly that. They're acts. It's a play. When you go to court, you're really dealing with maritime law. And you are like, imagine in the 1880s, you had vessels that came into a foreign port. And when you came into that foreign port, you had to abide by the jurisdiction of those foreign ports. So when you go into court and you walk through that little swinging door, that's you like walking into a foreign port. And you are in a play, and they have their costumes, the judges' robes, and so on. And they'll ask you, do you understand? And the last thing you want to say is yes. When they say, do you understand? In other words, will you stand under this corporation that's about to charge you? And they'll say, do you understand the charges? In other words, do you understand the money that we're about to assess you that you're going to owe this corporation, this for-profit corporation? Anyway, that in itself is a big whole deal. And there's a lot of us that believe Donald Trump is a patriot and that he would like to restore the republic that was given to us by our founding fathers and that so many fought and died for. They didn't fought and they didn't die for this corporation. They fought for this land and for our sovereignty. And anyway, so all of that I told you about because tonight at midnight, Thursday night, it's supposed to be, that corporation is supposed to be bankrupt. And I believe that there is a certain world leaders working around the world to get rid of these banking cabals that have controlled the world for the last 150 years. And that they'd like to take their countries back. And that, anyway, so there's a lot of people, and you've heard us talk about it before, about a global currency reset, that believe that that global currency reset is about to happen. It's also in conjunction with another act that's called Nasara or Jasara. Basically, it's the same thing. Again, watch Mike, Crypto Mike's videos in the last couple of days. He'll explain some of that to you as well. But in order for a country to be compliant with Nasara, to be part of this global currency reset, there's certain things that they have to do. Because the premise is that this whole cabal and this whole, all of this banking has been a fraud on the citizens of the world. And it's all been counterfeiting and illegal and so on. And so one of the things that they're talking about is, forgiveness of debt, mortgages, credit cards, the whole thing, because it was all illegal and should have never happened. How nice would that be? So there's another whole group, a community out there that you can look up. If you look up Nasara or Jasara on YouTube, you'll hear about them. And they give updates all the time about where they think they're at. And ironically enough, they're right where we are in the XRP community, where they think it's about to happen. So you have the U.S. Corp about to going bankrupt. You have Brexit tomorrow, which I believe is one of the major last pieces of the plumbing that needs to happen. Because you see, you can't, we just did it yesterday, Trump signed the USMCA, the United States, Mexico, Canada deal. So now we have new trade agreements with them and, quite honestly, new treaties, peace treaties, if you will. We just did one with Japan and we just did one with China. We need to do one with the UK. The UK is England and the other countries that are part of the UK, which is different than the EU. The EU is the European Union. The UK is breaking off from the EU, which is what Brexit is. Well, we can't sign a deal with England and those other countries until they are broken off from the European Union. So we've needed Brexit to happen so that we could have a new trade deal to promote our digital economy that Trump always talks about. We need this trade deal signed with England as well, the Bank of England, and obviously they're a big trade partner and a big key component, part of the G7, G20. So Brexit happens tomorrow. Then everybody's talking about Sunday, which is February 2nd. That is supposedly SWIFT is supposed to start using R3, which we know is basically XRP, and should start seeing volume flow there. That in itself would be huge. And then The next notable date is February 14th, which is the date that Bearable Guy put the little heart on February 14th over a year ago. And that's the day the United States China trade deal, peace treaty, digital economy is kicked in and is in effect and is enforced. So there's just a crap ton of stuff happening when you look around the world and try to figure out. Then you add to that, tomorrow, they're going to vote. Hopefully, Trump will be acquitted and this impeachment thing will be over. One of the things that they talk about in the Jassara deal for a country to be Jassara compliant, to participate in this new global currency reset, they have to get rid of all of their crooks. And it's interesting when you look around. It's interesting when you look around and see, like, a week or so ago, Russia's whole government walked out and they created a new Russian government. Maybe that was part of becoming Jassara compliant. There is supposed to be over 100,000 sealed indictments here in the U.S. ready to be served to get rid of the criminals and the deep state that has gone on in this country. But what a wonderful thing it would be to get rid of all this cabal around the world and these people that are, that will murder to get gain, which is, what Satan taught Cain when he killed Abel. That was the first time that man realized that he could murder to get gain. And they've done it, and they've made us their slaves. And how wonderful would it be if patriots around the world that are loyal to their countries and their countrymen, that if we got rid of the criminals and that we did a global currency reset and forgave debt and everybody was on a level playing field, and then we were fortunate enough to have some holdings in this digital asset that we have so much hope in and excitement for. So it's going to be exciting next couple days. Of course, we've got the Super Bowl Sunday. Sunday is supposed to be Swift, the Super Bowl, and it's my birthday. So I am looking forward to Sunday, and I hope that fiat leak volume starts flying. And of course, XRP is up today. We're green today, 24.5 cents, which it's hard to believe we're celebrate that, but it's better than 20 cents. So let's do it. Let's get it. You guys are awesome. Hey, please subscribe and share this if you don't mind. If you find any of this information helpful, and also look at your birth certificate and look up the Act of 1871, where the United States was incorporated, and we're not really truly running under the U.S. Constitution and the republic that we're supposed to have. We've been lied to. Certainly haven't been taught this in school. It's up to you to know it and then teach your children. Anyway, you guys are awesome. Thanks so much, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.